I'm Dr. David Beaulieu, and my guest again this week is Ross Smith, who is an EFT, an Emotional Freedom Technique, EFT practitioner at our center. We've talked about the importance of the mind as well as the body in attaining optimum health, and how there have been times when our patients have gotten better and better and better and better through the techniques we use at our office, and then we might hit a roadblock. And often that's something to deal with the emotional, the mind, the mental. And we ask Ross to come and to evaluate that patient. And at this time, I'd like you to go back to the very first video that we've done together so that you can see the progress of how EFT works for different types of problems. Today we want to talk about relationship, because this is really important, and relationships impact us our entire lives in either a positive or a negative vein. And we can go to school and learn how to fix an engine, an automobile engine. We can go to school and learn how to paint a picture. We can go to school and learn a lot of different things, but there aren't lots of classes in relationship. Relationships are really important, and relationships bring quality to our lives and give us access to places inside us, feelings inside us that make us healthy. And when they're not there, they take our health away. So relationship plays a role here. And although our office is focused on allergy and nutrition, I will run up against roadblocks with people having problems with their husbands, people having problems with their children, people having problems with their in-laws, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I know I'm preaching to the choir here because you all know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's talk about this relationship thing. Can you give us an example?
Yes, I've had a man come to me about having difficulty. He was fighting a lot with his wife, with his spouse. And as you know, when we get into that type of communication, there's really, you really kick into the survival mode when you're fighting, especially when you're fighting a lot. And there's no, from what I've seen, there's no real progress or communication that's done when you're in that survival mode and you're at a high peak of emotion and fighting and angry and all that stuff. And the peak emotion was anger for him. So we tapped on that a lot, like we said in the previous sessions. We would just set it up and we said, even though I feel this anger at my wife, I totally and completely accept my feelings around that. Even though I feel this anger with my wife and I express it too much, I totally and completely accept my feelings around this. And we went that route and started tapping. He was pretty high at a 7, thinking about the last fight they had the night before, I think it was. And we tapped it down to 0, got it done, and he was feeling this in his, if I remember right, he felt it in his throat. It was like it was hard for him even to swallow when he thought about the fighting. So what I did for them was, and he got his wife to do this, get her to tap to just stop when you get in this fighting mode, because they're in a trench. They're in a circular way they do things, the way they fight, the way they talk to each other, and then it kicks up and it kicks up and it kicks up, and they get in this same process all the time. And I ask, just take a time out. Take a time out and just tap through your anger. Go to a separate room and just tap for a little bit. I am angry. I'm angry. This anger is really bothering me. I'm angry. We're hollering at each other. I don't want to holler. I'm angry, and tap it out. And like I said before, send those impulses to that amygdala, because you're in stress. And it tells the amygdala, just cool it. Everything's okay here. We don't have to communicate this way. And they reported to me that it helped a lot. They were able to come back to the table with civil, logical conversation. So it helped them a great deal.
And we know that none of you out there have relationship difficulties, especially those of you who are married. And so this, without a doubt, doesn't pertain, right? Yeah, right. Good luck with that one. This is, you know, tapping for health is really, really important. If you've got a paranoid situation going on, like a dread fear of making a presentation, and you want to be a school teacher, you know, this is a roadblock. Or a dread fear of snakes, but you want to be a zookeeper. These are important. But relationships are the foundation of a happy life. Relationships are crucial. And if we can find a quick, easy, and inexpensive way to mend relationships and to learn how to build relationships and not overreact within relationships, you have a tool that's worth its weight in gold. And it is our feeling at the center that Emotional Freedom Technique provides that tool. I think you're going to find these videos that I've done with Ross Smith very, very valuable to you and your family. And it's just more news you can use.